Hey BC Kids, Mr. Zach here. I am super excited about this week's Bible story and our teaching. We're learning that we can follow Jesus because He's with us and He takes away all of our fears. So I want to talk to you a little bit about swimming. As you can see, I've got a bowl of water here. I love to swim, especially when it's super hot here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But you know what? When I go to jump into a pool or a lake, what happens? I get a big splash, right? That's what you expect. If you go to jump into a pool, you don't just land and hit thud, right? Because we're people, we sink. So I want to go over a little game with you, and I need your help at home. We're going to play a game called sink or, it's the opposite of sink, unsink. Sink or unsink, no that's not right. Sink or float. We're going to play a game called sink or float. I've got a number of items here, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what the item is. I'm going to put it above the water. And from home, you're going to tell me and your friends and families at home, is this going to sink or unsink? I mean, sink or float. Are you ready? Okay. First item, a metal spoon. Do you think it's going to sink or float? If it's sunk. Okay, so we've got spoon on the sink side. We've got this wooden block here. You ready? Sink or float? It floats. All right. I have a banana. Sink or float? I actually don't know what this is gonna do. Hey, it floats. All right, goes on the float side. I have got a little toy I took from Ollie's room. Sink or float? It's hollow. That might help. Also a floater, and I've got almost empty bottle of water. Sink or float? We got a lot of floating things. Give me 1 second. Just to make things fun. Okay. This rock. Sink or float? We've got a sinker. Oh, one more item. All right. Where'd that ladder go? Ah, here it is. Okay. Do you guys think I'm gonna sink or float? Are you ready? What's that, Audrey? It's not a good idea? It's not a big enough thing of water? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to guess if I was gonna sink or float. Well, today's story, we're gonna hear about when Jesus walked on water, and He called one of His followers, Peter, to walk on water. And we learn from this story that we can follow Jesus because He's with us and He takes our fears away. So enjoy the Bible story, and we'll follow back around right after. Bye, guys.
This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop!
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus,
Whoa!
and he heard all His teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever He went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, He sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while He stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by Himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves.
Ah!
About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw Him walking on the water, they were terrified.
Ah!
In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," He said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to Him, "Lord, if it's really You, tell me to come to You walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat
Whoa! You're awesome!
and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves,
Ah! Whoa!
he was terrified and began to sink.
Jesus! Help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshiped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
Wait a minute. Oh, the story's over. Wasn't that a crazy, wild story about Jesus and Peter? Man, because Jesus is the Son of God, he can do anything. It's incredible. And he can call his followers like Peter to do the impossible. So I've got a couple questions for you to discuss as a family. And feel free to pause the video so you guys can have great dialogue and talk it out with your family. First question is, what do we learn about Jesus from this story? What is Jesus telling us about himself and God? So take a minute, talk with your family. It's a really good banana. What's this story telling us about Jesus? Man. Well, I see in this story when I look at Jesus that he can do anything as the Son of God, even calm storms, even walk on water. And beyond that, he loves to rescue us when we call out to him for help. So that's what I see about Jesus. What did you guys see? The next question. What did you see about Peter? What did you see from Peter and learn about Peter and us from this story? So what did you learn about Peter from this story? Go ahead and talk as a family. What's Peter showing us about him and us? One thing I see about Peter from this story is that when he keeps his eyes on Jesus, who he's following, he stays bold. Fear doesn't creep in and scare him to do awesome things like walk on water. But as soon as he took his eyes off of Jesus and focused on something else, that's when he became afraid and began to doubt. And that's when he had to call out for help. So here's what we're learning this week. You guys ready? We're learning that we can follow Jesus because one, he's with us, and two, he takes away all of our fears. So as you're going on this week, look for ways or look for things that may cause you to be afraid and say, I need to look at Jesus and ask for help here. And in those moments, ask him for help. Say, Jesus, can you help me fix my eyes back on you? Because I think I'm staring at something else that's scaring me like Peter did. But I want to be bold like you are and like you made Peter bold. So do that this week. We're going to worship Jesus as he takes away our fears. So we have this song for you. So enjoy worshiping Jesus through music. Love you guys and have a great week. Bye.